I'm sorry. But if you as a country allow young men who come from countries in which women aren't even classed as second-class citizens, and you put them up in four-star hotels, allow them to work illegally, their attitude towards women is completely different to ours. So the social effects of this are appalling as well.
Okay, so here's what's going on. A 15-year-old girl in Warwickshire, England, was raped by two asylum-seeking Afghan men. Their lawyer then blamed the attack on cultural differences. He said his client was not used to a society where women are free and deemed equal to men. And that defense right there is exactly why those young men likely shouldn't have been there in the first place. And again, this is in England, but we can take that, look at it, and learn from it and start applying the necessary mentality to stop things like this from happening. We can start applying that mentality and acting on it in the US. For example, you can watch someone get hit by a car and then decide, you know what, maybe I shouldn't walk out on the road and get hit by a car. We don't have to wait for this to start happening en masse in the United States. We can see it happening over in Europe and work to make sure it doesn't start happening here. This is why we need borders. This is why ICE matters. If you see someone talking about get rid of ICE, we don't need borders. Do not listen to them. They are not good for our country. We need people who enforce our border laws. This keeps our country sustainable from an economic standpoint. We can't just import the whole world. That's going to overwhelm our systems. On top of that, we can work to keep people out who don't have the same cultural values as we do. We can keep people out and remove people who don't want to assimilate to our culture and our way of life. Let them go to a different country then. We should 100% be paying deep attention to who we let in this country.
This is why, I got a growing account got banned because I said, as Asian people, we support Trump's, deportations of illegal immigrants, okay? Because, and I think it's funny that people call me, oh, this is why you're the model citizen. That's not much of an insult, right? Why would you live in a country, right, that you don't want to be a good citizen? Why? This is the thing where I'll say this: if you hate the country, leave. If you shit on the country, right? If you do bad things in said country, leave. You don't deserve to be here. If you hate the country, leave. You don't deserve to be here. I love America. I really do. It's given me immense freedoms. It's given me so much privileges, right? It's given me a life that's pretty decent. I think it's much decent where any other places I could live, So, yeah, I love America. And this is the thing where I can understand the youth protesting for people in the Middle East. Because, like he shows, right? These are the types of people, right? Not all, right? Not all, but in general, they don't view women in a great light. They don't view people, the alphabet community, in a great light. Yet it's the liberals that would jump to protest for these types of people, which is quite insane to me, right? Quite insane. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous, and it shows you how privileged you are and not in touch with the reality you are. Okay, so, this is when when I see certain things like let's say in America where Muslims are not conforming or not assimilating to American culture. Okay, it's great that you want to be traditional, right, with your own traditional culture, but again, you should still not impede American culture. You should not put your culture over American culture, right? That's not being a good citizen. Asian people, they keep their culture, but they're not gonna push it on you or oh, I'm gonna do Sharia law or I'm gonna try to usurp America. What, are you crazy? No, America, what it is what people wanted to come here for. You're turning into your own country. Well, that's why you left, right? My parents left their country because they didn't want it, right? It didn't benefit them. It didn't give them a prosperous life. So why would they want their country's image in a country they're trying to go to? So yeah, these people are crazy.
We learned yesterday that two Afghans who broke into the country illegally last year raped a 15-year-old girl. Today we learned an Afghan national raped two 14-year-old schoolgirls. And while the Labour government must take enormous criticism for these barbaric acts because they are happening on their watch as a direct result of their policy choices, do not forget it was the Tories who smuggled in thousands of Afghans into this country, including known sex offenders. Let me say that again. The Tories imported thousands of Afghans into this country, including known sex offenders, in secret. They took out a super injunction from a judge to hide it from you, the British people, and then called a general election only when they found out that the judge was about to lift that super injunction. It cost British taxpayers hundreds of millions of pounds. It is an absolute disgrace, and I think there's a word to describe the Tories.
See, I got hate. I got a lot of hate when I said I supported Trump when he deported illegal immigrants. If you started coming here already on an illegal standing, right? You committed a crime, right? You already, right? By coming here, it's a criminal offense. You think I'm going to trust your morality? It's true. It's true that we have enough criminals already in America. We have enough. I'm good with the criminals, right? I'm good, right? We have enough born citizens that are criminals. Fine. We don't need to import criminals into our country because we need more, right? We don't need to do that. And I could talk about how Muslim culture might not be the best fit for America or even the UK, but that could be another video. But I'll definitely say, starting your foot on being a criminal already isn't a good start. Right? It isn't a good start because you couldn't go through the natural process. Says a lot about you, right? Says a lot about you. I mean, like if you couldn't, there's no other way for you to get into a country besides going there illegally. Says a lot about you. And then here's another thing where you already came here illegally, and then you don't even be a proper citizen. Says even more about you. This is why these people are discussing. This is why, honestly, I don't know. They should get even more punishment. I mean, like committing a crime in another country, deportation is not good enough.
I'm about to play the video, but people are mad at Florida deputies for releasing the images of a couple of kids who stole out of Dick's Sporting Goods. Some saying the community should start a GoFundMe.
Were members of a Philadelphia youth football team were arrested accused of trying to steal thousands of dollars in goods from a store in Davenport.
They was basically taking equipment for a football tournament they had, which they're not going to be able to attend no more because they are put in juvenile at the moment while processing all that's going on. And I think they're stuck in juvenile until their parents come down from Philly to pick them up. Some people on social media are calling for a GoFundMe to be made to pay for the items that they took and to donate to the culture so that these kids will have items in the future. While others are also pulling the race card, saying that if this was a group of, they wouldn't be going through this. Basically, in Florida, if a child commits a crime that would be labeled a felony for an adult, their face is allowed to be shown. Plus, you guys know this deputy be posting everybody's face. He don't be caring. This man loved doing his press conferences and social media. I ain't gonna lie to you. Regardless, I'm just here reporting the news. What do you guys think or feel about this situation?
Why not do a GoFundMe beforehand, right? Before you now get a record. It is used. I mean, like, because it seems like black people would be fine with donating, right? Why not have done a GoFundMe before you got arrested? I can't understand that. Why not? Because again, by the comments, it seems like they would have donated, right? It seemed like that. But doing it after the fact, right? This is the problem I find, where why not promote it? Promote it beforehand within the community, right? This is the thing where I don't see it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't see it where, why don't you go within your community, ask for donations, right? Ask for donations for such and such, right? For whatever, sports and whatever, things like that. But when you do things like this, right? After they committed crimes, you're promoting that, you know what, you will get bailed out, in my opinion. And it shows you that you don't, that you're not holding them accountable for their terrible actions and, poor choices in life. Because this is the thing, I hold adults accountable too. Why didn't the adults, okay, if we don't have enough money for sports league, whatever, which is, why even do it then, right? Why even do it yet? If some of the team members had to do crime to get equipment, what the hell is the team doing? I don't get it. I mean, weren't they already equipped before they went on this sports trip? There's a lot of questions, right? But this is the thing where I'm saying, where I've said this before, where they don't care about their public image, right? They don't care about their public image. I think the black community doesn't care about their public image because they're not doing things actively to fight against negativities in their image. Okay, I mean, it's not because white people didn't force these young black youth to go and rob a store. They didn't force them, right? And you say, it's systemic. Well, I mean, like, you could go around your community and gather money, right? Do charity work for it, because a lot of white communities, that's what they do, right? Their money circulates within their community. If they need to buy for stuff, they ask, they do charity, so the fundraisers and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think things like this is we're not teaching our youth correctly, okay? Particularly in minorities community, where why does everything always lead to criminality? Okay, everything always leads to criminality. I don't know. I don't think that they went through fundraising, charity work, all this stuff before, right? They did this, because all those parents should have chipped in. You should also ask the community to chip in. You could also ask nationally, right? People from do fundraisers, do GoFundMe's, because I think that's what it's for. But you don't do it, and you resort to criminality. And I think you got to hold the adults responsible. Why would you build a team when the team is not equipped, right? Why? And then I don't know. Just terrible.
Tim, good morning. I got some additional contacts from one of those coaches who tell me that they do not condone these thefts that some of those players are accused of. He says, though, it ruined a good thing for a lot of the team, most of the team, those players and coaches who put their hearts into the journey of trying to make it to the championship.
They let the team down. What about the rest of the kids on the team that came from Philadelphia to compete for a national championship?
Sheriff Grady Judd of Polk County, Florida, unraveled a list displaying more than $2,200 worth of stolen merchandise. It's all centered on the people seen in this surveillance video from Saturday morning inside the Dick's Sporting Goods in Davenport, Florida. 8 players from the United Thoroughbreds youth football team of Philadelphia are accused of splitting up into groups and stealing thousands of dollars worth of items. Officials said the manager saw it unfold and called police, who were waiting outside when the boys tried to leave. The sheriff is taking a zero-tolerance approach.
They were not taking bubble gum, one piece to chew. They stole over $2,000 worth of products, over 47 different products they stole. You don't want to go to jail? You don't want to go to juvenile lockup? Don't steal.
The boys are 14 and 15 years old. Deputies say the players took an Uber to the store and allegedly stole football-related merchandise like lip guards, football gloves, and hoodies. One of their coaches told me over the phone that they snuck out without anyone knowing.
I don't know if these all were starters or not, but I can tell you that we were finishers. We arrested them.
The coach says some of the boys were starters and says the organization is not condoning what happened. None of those involved played in the game. He told me other players are devastated after working nearly half their lives to make it to the championship. After the arrest, the team went on to lose the championship game. And officials tell me none of the boys had any prior records before any of this happened. Officials also say the boys did not make any comments about why they allegedly did this. We do know that they will have to return to Florida to eventually face those felony charges that they're now accused of. Reporting live here in the Satellite
I pulled over
Center.
to eat some food before my class, and I just got upset because I pulled over into a white neighborhood. It's just so nice, and it just reminds me that everything is about racism. They have so much shade, so much parking. Like, it's the simple shit. I couldn't even just pull over really and enjoy my lunch because I was like, I haven't seen a person of color walk by me once. They're running around and it's white people. Y'all got a really nice neighborhood. Of course y'all do. Anyway.
You know, this is something that it doesn't, like, this is why it's like no accountability, right? It doesn't take millions to improve your own neighborhood, right? It's the small things first. You cannot throw things on the floor, right? You don't have to throw things outside on the, just toss things on the ground. You don't have to do that, right? That's the one thing you could actually start doing. Another thing is that, you could start not, perpetuating crime, right? Dealing or stealing, mugging other people. You could also plant your own stuff, right? I mean, it's not, this is a thing where you don't have to, have millions to plant trees, plant flowers, plant things in your own neighborhood. It's about the sense of having a community. Yeah. Now, yes, if you had money, it could do better. You could go further. I mean, it'd be easier. I agree. But how about at least before complaining about the white people, how about make the effort first? Okay. I mean, let's just make the small efforts, and then he's like, you know what? Like, it was like, we did everything we could. Now, we don't have enough, right? We want more. Okay, I get it. But you jump in doing any effort and just complain. That's my thing, okay? That's where I see it, where you can't even stop throwing trash in your own neighborhood, but you want to, complain that the white man has it all. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but in nice white neighborhoods, or even, let's say even Asian communities, right? There's some decorum, right? If you're throwing trash on the floor, it looks bad on you, okay? It's not promoted. It's shamed, right? So that's the least, that's something that I just find that, like, I have this analogy, right? Is that you live in a crack house, right? You live in a crack house, but instead of caring about improving your house, right? The broken window, the damaged floors, the busted whatever, you look outside and you care about your lawn. You look outside, you care about your sidewalk. You look outside, you care about who's walking in your neighborhood. That's what you care about, outside. But you don't even fix what's inside, right? The immediate, or things you could fix, because you can't. It's harder for you to fix the sidewalk, or things that are outside of your reach. You could at least focus on your house. That's my analogy. Where why do we skip the step of focusing in our house, right? The immediate things we could do. We jump to the things that we can't necessarily do, but we focus on that, and then we blame, the city's not helping. The city's not fixing up the potholes, the broken street, the broken sidewalk. The city's not doing the city. Look at your house, right? Look at your own house. That's my analogy. So it's just tiring.
This black dude stabbed this white dude in Portland, Oregon with a knife. Now that is assault with a deadly weapon. And he ended up getting acquitted by a jury on self-defense because he said that the white dude said the N-word to him. Now, the white dude said that he didn't call him the N-word beforehand, but then he did call him that after the stabbing, which was caught on a police body cam. Here's the thing. The black dude was already on probation for assault when this incident took place, and this sets a really sketchy precedent. What this says is that if somebody uses words against you that offend you, that is violence, and that you can use deadly force with a deadly weapon against a person if their words hurt your feelings. This same logic, if somebody calls me a ginger, I should be able to stab them for that? Absolutely the fuck not, dog. Listen, I'm all for mutual combat. If two dudes have a disagreement, they can't handle it with words and they want to handle it with fists, I get that. That's chill in my book. We need more of that, actually. But being able to stab somebody because they said a word that hurt your feelings is some absolute bitch shit. What do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments.
First couple things, right? He didn't stab him because he said the N-word, right? He didn't stab him because he said the N-word. Now, they're using that as an excuse, the court, which is quite crazy, using that as an excuse for he deserved it because he was that type of person. This is the thing where I really want to, like, this is my thing, right? I don't care. As long as you're consistent, right? The Democrats, the liberals, need to be consistent. So if a police officer feels any type of way, it's okay for him to use deadly force, right? Because if someone uses the N-word against, a black person and they feel, hurt by those words, it's okay for them to use deadly force. So you got to be consistent with your logic. Is that okay then? Is that okay now? If you feel a certain way, whatever way, right? You feel hurt or scared or whatever, it is okay for you to use deadly force now? This is the thing where this is why I hate this whole racial divide thing, because honestly, we are going towards a civil war, it seems like, a black and white civil war. And let me be honest. In a country that is predominantly white, black minority is not going to win that civil war. It's just plain and simple. I don't care how much you get together. When you're outnumbered, this ain't the 300, right? This ain't the movie 300. When you're outnumbered, you're not going to win. Plain and simple. Okay? Particularly on, how could you, we got to stop this thing, right? We got to stop this racial divide. We got to really do. That man, whether he was black or white, should be arrested, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because he endangered someone. He was trying to kill someone. He hurt someone. I don't care what was said to him. And it's like, I don't know, but this is kind of sad, right? A lot of these white cities, right, white states, are letting off these criminals with long records, right? I think every stabbing from the white Russian girl or the other person, whatever, these people have long rap sheets, and they're out to spread harm. And then I'm surprised, right? I mean, like one killing of or not one, but I mean one major killing of a black man got all of America to protest, right? Which is quite crazy. Protest and riot, but multiple killings of white people stay quiet. So I mean, who's the more violent one, right? Who's the more violent one? I don't know, right? Because I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised because you would think all the killings, all the issues that the white people are facing, they would protest, but they don't. I mean, it kind of says a lot about them. In the sense that I think a lot of them feel the white guilt. How could they protest when, they are, hurting about the past, or they feel bad about the past? So, I don't know. It says more about, I'll give them more credit, right? But I think it's only going to a boiling point, and it's going to get worse than protests and riots. Because more of this, right? More of this hurting and killing and endangerment. I think this is going to be, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly for this whole thing between white people and black people. But, hell, other minorities just stand by watching. I'm probably alone in this, right? I didn't know there was a country called that. I did not know there was oh my God. And then this is the thing, right? Here's my thing where I think, oh my God. And then you see the comment section of this video, of this post. It was insane, right? It was insane. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. I mean, this is the problem where when you make words so powerful, okay, where this is the thing where I never wanted to take back the word chink or any of that stuff, right? Because I didn't care, right? You want to make it a bad thing, make it a bad thing. I could care less. Taking back a word and then still using that word kind of feels like you put power into that word, okay? And then gatekeeping that word adds more power to that word. This is the thing where, because you can't escape it, right? You can't escape the word. Especially there's a country that word. I didn't even know that. Right? That's something new to me. And now they want to make an airline international. This is not just within their in their country. This is international. So you're going to see this in your airport. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I don't know what. I think it's maybe like, as kids, right? When a parent tells you not to do something, you want to do it even more. I believe that word would have been phased out or not hold as much power as it did or does if, one, it was phased out, right? In the sense that we knew it was bad. The country was changing. That word would have never been used, right? That word would just, or not never been used, but it would slowly lose popularity. And, if the black community didn't take that word and start using it themselves, right? And keep it in popular culture, right? Music, TV, movie, like everything, right? They use that word. So they keep the word in the minds of people, right? Instead of slowly phasing it out, and it's just a word that the offshoots people use, right? People that use once in a blue moon or whatever. You hear it once in a blue moon kind of thing. But you hear this word every time. I mean, to me, I hear this every time I hear music, every time I turn on any kind of media. I hear this word all the time. And then, but I don't know. It's just a crazy thing. What do you guys think? And we're complaining about grocery prices. We're complaining about cost of living. We're complaining about rent. We're complaining about money, the economy. We have the audacity to complain about the economy while standing, not even a line, right? You're not even standing in a line. You're mobbing out of a sneaker store or whatever to buy really ugly sneakers. I mean, come on, like those are ugly sneakers. I'm sorry. They look like your typical New Balance, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but they look like a New Balance, and I think New Balance is ugly. Okay, this is what you wanted to do. I don't even know how much they cost, right? I figured they probably cost around 100 or maybe more. So we're complaining about the economy. Oh, we can't have kids in this economy. Yeah, I can see why. Because your priorities isn't straight. This is the problem I find, right? People who complain about America, oh my God, the economy, the cost of living, and all that stuff. No, it's not the cost of living. It's the cost of luxury. The people who complain about, oh, I make 100K but I'm living paycheck to paycheck. It's not the cost of living. It's the cost of luxury. It's how you don't know how to balance. If you don't know how to budget, right? You don't know how to save. You don't know how to invest. That's the problem. Now, I'm not saying you buy things you want, right? Buy things you want if it makes you happy. But then you can't buy things you want, and then on the same token, complain about the economy, complain about the cost of living, say you don't want to have children because it's too expensive, right? Complain about all the things you can complain about, right? When it comes to money, yet stand in a mob trying to get sneakers. I'm pretty sure they all are wearing sneakers to get to that store, right? This is the thing where no one's calling these people out. It's not the cost of living. It's the cost of luxury that these people are complaining about. It's the cost of luxury that if you make over 70K, right? If you make over 70K, and then you say you complain about being paycheck to paycheck, it's not that you make too little. It's that you spend too much. That's the thing, right? It's not that you make too little. It's because you spend too much. That's the problem. And again, it's your money. Spend how you want. But like I said, you cannot say that you spend how you want, luxuries, and then on the same token say that the cost of living is too high. The cost of living is too high because you spend too much. That's why. You spend needlessly, you spend idiotically. That is why. These people are just hiring. It really is.